Greetings, mood killers. It's Marconi. It's Eddie. Eddie, I want to be honest. I always like to be transparent with the show. I just got out of the shower, and so it could be hopefully not electrocuted, but my hair's still damp, and but I feel fresh. You know, when I do that, like it perks you up. Like nothing like flushing out your in the shower to like kind of wake you up.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
When you didn't say anything, I was like, "Oh no, I've gone too far."
I'm offended.
Finally, I've done it.
I've contacted the FCC.
Right. We don't have to worry about that anymore, Eddie.
I'm here to report you.
No, we're on Adobe now. We don't have to worry about that. Although
right.
we do bleep and blur, just protect. You always got to protect the kids.
Sometimes you bleep things that I say that shouldn't be bleeped.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, one day you'll know why. But
I know but it's one of those things where you're protecting me in the future. Like I'll listen back in 10 years and be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad I wasn't exposed saying that.
Yes, making fun of marsupials.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. That's a no-no. Good. But yeah, so I get out of the shower and I'm excited. And I have this. I researched because I'm growing my hair out. I'm not really like for fashion. It's just I think out of boredom to see what it looks like. And I thought, oh, maybe it'll look cool. It looks more like Pauline Francis, the mother-in-law of Betty on Mad Men.
Yes.
If you look up,
So now you're growing your Pauline Francis. Okay, I'm going to look this up.
Yeah, I want you to see because it looks like it's not good.
Okay. So you're saying it's kind of like like an overgrown bowl cut.
Yeah, it really. Yeah. It's sort of, and because I have a lot of.
That's kind of like a very Beatles-esque.
Or Lord Fauntleroy. I don't know. But it doesn't look great. I mean, actually, it looks okay. It looks much better in a beanie.
Is it curly?
It's wavy.
That's good.
So, but I have
the luscious locks are good.
That's right. Yeah. Well, like the goal. Like, remember Chris Cornell's hair? He had like perfect, beautiful hair.
What happened to him?
Oh well, what happened to him? Sadly, but I saw him in person. And up close, like real close. We were in this real small room here in Chicago at the radio.
I totally forgot he's not with us anymore. That was a joke, but geez, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were like making a joke, but like not like making fun of it.
No, I was thinking like, how come we haven't heard anything from him in a while? I totally forgot.
You forgot that Chris Cornell died.
Jeez, that's one of those ones that I hated when it happened.
Oh, it's very sad.
So your hair is like his.
I wish he had beautiful hair, and but I researched, and I have this shampoo that Olivia Rodrigo supposedly uses on tour, and then like the hair product, so I smell like I'm like sexy or so. Like there's a stranger in the room right now. I'm like, wait, who's there? Oh, it's me.
Right.
So, but but the reality is I look like Pauline Francis. Oh.
Look, I made you some content. Daddy made you your favorite open wide. Here comes the content. It's a beautiful day to stay inside.
Well, Eddie, it's time for everyone's favorite weekly segment that I seem to never not do.
Hey, you've been scrolling for a while now. Keep scrolling, keep scrolling, keep scrolling.
Ooh. Keep scrolling.
New production.
No,
love that.
That's
good.
Right. You'll hear it on Adobe Radio very soon.
We had our quarterly budget come in, so good.
That's right. Just one of those is like $1 million. I don't know how it works, but
But
there you go.
We got that, but now we can't feed our families.
No, we can't afford eggs. Well, that's normal anyway.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Here's a clip. Are you familiar with Garen Noon on TikTok? He's an Irish guy, and he's also a musician. And he says, "I'm delicious. Follow me. I'm delicious." He's fantastic. I'll send you. You might recognize his voice. Here he is talking about a new trend on TikTok.
People are putting glitter in their pickles now. It's a trend. They're called glickles. For the love of God, will somebody turn me the off? I don't want to take in any more data. My brain is closed. Sorry, I'm being rude now. They're lovely. They look lovely. They're lovely. Will you stop playing with your food and eat it? Follow me. I'm delicious.
Glickles.
Glickles.
And he has the video going, and people are putting glitter in pickle jars, like with the pickles.
Why?
And
I
why
don't
would you
know.
want that inside you? Do you eat it or not eat it? I don't know. I
Yeah,
would.
these are the same people that are gluten-free, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm gluten-free, but I'm not glitter-free. I'm
Right.
eating glickles for lunch.
Right.
Girl dinner,
shop
glickles.
They go to Whole Foods and buy $20 pickles
Yeah.
because they're worried about the ingredients being pure. Then they add glitter.
They go to Air One, and it's
Yeah.
been $40 on a jar of pickles.
Yeah.
Here's another one, Eddie. Misheard lyrics. You know how, like, especially when you're younger, you mishear a lyric in a song, and a lot of times this is before,
Right.
like, you could research it right away on the internet. But this is this guy's perspective.
When I was a little kid driving around with my mom in the minivan, she would listen to Alanis Morissette on repeat. And I always thought the lyric was, "And I'm here to remind you of this cross-eyed bear that you gave to me." And being a little kid, you have no context of, like, what do adults do? I guess when you're angry, you give each other cross-eyed bears.
I didn't see. And he has a video. The video has a picture of a
Wait.
bear with cross-eyed. It's
Okay.
Yeah, the visual.
Yeah, that one always confused me too, so I get that.
You thought it was a cross-eyed bear too?
I thought it was the cross-eyed bear. Yeah,
I didn't. Wow.
that you gave.
Maybe
to
a
me.
lot more people think that way. I always knew it was a cross-eyed bear, but I could see because it sounds just like cross-eyed bear.
I was like, okay, but I heard that song for the first time pretty young. I was like, whatever, cross-eyed bear.
And then when you got on the radio and we're playing it 50,000 times,
Right.
did you still think it was cross-eyed bear?
Absolutely. Until
Okay,
just now.
there's a very popular song by Ducci called "Denial is a River," and Sad Alex, one of my favorite artists, I learned
Yeah.
from TikTok, did a tired version of that.
I mean, I like naps, I like bed, I like soft pillows and blankets for my sleepy head. I like canceling plans and curling up on my couch. I like doing my favorite, like staying in my house. What can I say? I'm really tired, my back hurts, and my net worth's at an all-time low. So just before you hit me up to make plans and stuff, just be aware that I wanna say no.
That should be our theme song, Eddie, right
I
there.
know.
I want to say no.
I know. Every time I get invited to something, I'm like, I get social anxiety because I want to say no, but I also know that wanting to say no is not a good thing when
Yeah.
you say no too many times. So
And then they don't
I get
ask you
it.
back after a while. And then they
Yeah,
stop
exactly.
asking.
I know.
Somehow I get relief from not being asked too. Because a lot of people, they like to be asked, but they want to say no. And then they get upset when they get stopped being asked. I don't. I'm still
Yeah.
okay with it. So I don't know
I
what's
get
wrong
that
with me.
too. I get that too. Yeah.
Now, here is a 97-year-old woman who is singing her own happy birthday song.
Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me.
And she sang it for she did another verse of it too. And I was like, I didn't even know that song kept going. But
I guess
apparently
at
it did.
91, everyone is just no longer alive that you used to know. Is
Okay,
that
no,
what it
she's
is?
97. Can you imagine?
97.
Yeah, so nobody's there to sing the happy birthday song to
That's
you.
kind of funny.
Yeah.
I appreciate her sense of humor. Like, I made it to 97. Everyone's dead. Ha ha.
Yeah, you're all dead.
I'll eat cake.
Now, we're always looking, especially with what's going on in the world and everything, it's nice to have people that give motivational things, even if I'm not talking about the cringe kind of stuff or the annoying kind, but Lil Nas X has a very wonderful message.
Follow your dreams, or I'm gonna beat your ass, bitch.
So I don't know. I think
he's right.
Coming from anyone else, that would probably be like offensive, but it's Lil Nas X, you know?
You can't argue with that. So
No.
he's right. He's looking. It's like almost like a Big Brother kind of thing, but it comes from him.
Exactly. And he's wearing a bonnet when he says it. So, I mean, how can you
Is
be
that
mad
the
at
Mood
that?
Killer's bonnet?
I wish he had I wish we could have sent him some. Maybe he'd wear one on his TikTok.
I think he would.
Now this is a clip that's like 17 seconds or something, Eddie. And I think it has the most curses of anything we've ever played or anything I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, wow.
It's a kid who is filming his grandma, and he says he's putting his grandma on timeout. And I don't know what the conversation or what really happened when they weren't filming, but it sounds like she had had enough of her grandson.
Oh, wow.
Put my grandma on timeout.
When you put me on no mother timeout, you won't go sit your ass down till you put me on some timeout. Time your ass out this mother door. That's what you do. Leave me the alone. I'm trying to watch TV. I'm not on nobody's timeout. If I punch you in your no, I might knuckle sucker your ass. Get the away from me, boy.
If you listen closely, you can hear Quentin Tarantino transcribing that for his next movie.
Yes, that's right. So, yeah, I mean, but I like that the grandma was like, did not hold back, unfiltered.
Right.
You know, she probably had been filtered. But the thing is she's saying the quiet part out loud that we all are feeling when people won't stop bugging us. Like, leave me, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just want your peace. So let grandma sit there and watch her TV.
Yeah.
All right. Those are some clips there for keep scrolling.
Are you scrolling instead of sleeping again? Girl, like, yes, we go through this every night. I'm up, I'm scrolling, I'm stressed, okay?
It was in March around this time in 2020 that something happened. Remember what it was, Marconi? 5 years ago.
Oh my gosh, do I ever? It was the last time on the 13th actually was my last time going into a professional radio studio. Right. And when I walked home that night, I didn't know that it would be my last. And now
isn't that crazy?
Ever since then I'm a remote worker 100%.
And you remember March 13th as the date.
Yeah.
Wow, that's funny. Okay, because it was March 13th, 2020. The Trump administration declared a nationwide emergency and issues an additional travel ban on U.S. citizens, and then calls officially the spread of COVID-19 a pandemic.
Oh.
And then that's when states began to implement shutdowns in order to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
And
so that was on between March 13th and March 15th, 2020.
I wasn't excited about, people, losing their lives or getting sick or anything, but I was excited about my dream of never having to go outside. You know what I mean? Nobody
there
was no expectation. You couldn't go outside half the time. You weren't supposed to.
That was the great thing about the whole thing is because we were told, as radio workers that we could not work from home. And it was, impossible. We don't have the technology to send everybody home. And then suddenly, as soon as this COVID-19 pandemic hits, the engineers have a solution overnight and everybody's working from home. But what a crazy time that was. Yeah.
I was the first one because Eddie and I worked at this radio network. Right. And, I told our boss, and I said, I don't feel safe getting on the L.
The train.
Yeah, every night. And she's like, okay, let me see what I can do. And then the next day, they were shipping out a whole laptop situation, microphones, all this stuff, which I already had. But they're like, we want to send out so everyone has the same equipment so we can, we know what we're dealing with. And it worked out. It was great. It was kind of fun, because you get all this new equipment. And then
and you thought that maybe you might be working from home for a short period of time. That it turned out this
I knew as soon as that laptop came, I was never going back to a studio.
I know. That's what I was thinking too. Is like I held on to that thing for dear life, and then I immediately came up with all these different excuses as to why I could never go back into the office ever again. And I had emails written. I had all this justification. Marconi and I would talk about it constantly. Like here's a list of reasons that benefit the company and us. So.
Yeah, and like
it was a battle too, really.
We were prepared, yeah. And the thing too is like I was like, hey, I'm essentially in a remote situation anyway because in the company that we worked for, they happen to have local radio stations, and I would just go over and do my show for them at the local radio station, and I didn't need to do that, and so and it's silly too. Like, okay, if it's because it's a laptop, let me send this laptop back. I'll buy a laptop, and I already have all the equipment. I don't need any of it. So
that's eventually what became of it for me. It was like it became an equipment issue, and that they were like, "Oh, we don't have enough of these old laptops that are terrible. We need to send them out to other people." And then I said, "I'll buy my own laptop." And at first they said, "No, we can't have the software running on random laptops." But then one day, randomly, one of the engineers was like, "Oh, I can just load that on your computer, no problem."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, okay, please." And then not only did they load it on that one, they put it on 3 other computers for me.
Yeah, they were able to do it remotely. Suddenly, they could load everything that you needed, and it was silly because whatever that makes it so you can talk in between songs and record stuff and all that kind of stuff that'll go to this network of computers. It's so simple now. Like I work for another company, Eddie, that you just talk into this thing on a website, and it goes on the radio. And I do the same thing for Adobe. Like when we're on the air, and so
you just talk into a website.
It's magic, and then I mean,
we're talking into a website right now. If you think about it.
And people who have been listening to this, like listen to us, like on our 3 years on terrestrial radio, we were always doing it like this. Like we were never in the same room together.
Idea.
And but the thing with radio, they never want you to say specifics. Like, well, we're here and here. They wanted us to sound a certain way, like we were in a certain location, and so we'll play along.
You can't tell. You just really can't tell, especially when you're talking to a microphone. And, for example, Sasha here on Adobe Radio, she was in London, and she did her whole show from London for an entire week. And to be honest, I forgot that she was there. Like until
the only thing you knew is that she would say, "I'm in London."
Yeah, and you're like, I'm like, that's kind of cool. I guess, but otherwise, I would have had no idea. Like, I'm like, okay, cool. Because like location doesn't matter.
Yeah, and the thing is too is like what's weird with radio. They're always so worried about local, but then they're not paying people to be on the radio local. That you're halfway across the country and supposed to pretend. And I'm like, why? And so that's why I love being on Adobe. I get to say, hey, it's Marconi. I'm in Chicago. But
I love that. You're in Chicago, I'm in LA, and here we are.
Nobody ever knew because we kept it like, what do you call it? Ambiguous, like where we never said anything about anything.
Yeah, you got to keep it secret because all these old dinosaurs wanted it to seem like we lived in that same little crappy town as everybody else.
Well, and they would also like go to the radio station and ask to see us. Like, where are they? Like,
listeners would show up asking for us all the time.
Yeah, and so obviously they couldn't tell. But I think
they're on vacation this week. I think they would say that.
Right? Yeah,
they're playing.
They've gone home for the day. But but I think technology is pretty great. And when you think about remote work, and I always think like when somebody wants you to go back in, like Elon Musk is so anti remote work, and I'm like, well, then shouldn't he be on those rocket ships when they launch, when they're doing the test launches? Because he's a remote worker for SpaceX.
Get him out of here.
Yeah, put him in those rockets when they're testing them.
That's right. But it's the 5-year anniversary, Marconi, of us being celebrated as shut-ins and being able to further dig
thing I'm so glad about though
as an introvert
is people finally stop asking why are you still like you don't go to this, you don't go to that. Why don't you do this? Like, like they always say, well, why aren't you just, now you can go to, like, why do you wear a mask? All that stuff. Like people that didn't like masks were, harassing people that wore masks all the time. It was insane. So I'll never forget that part, like how dumb people were. Like, I don't want to take the vaccine. You don't do that. Don't do this.
But isn't it so crazy? 5 years? 5 years.
It's gone by, and you think about,
mind-blowing.
What have I done with my life but sit here, remote work? Like, I don't think it would be better if I went into work. I'd probably just see more people doing more things, and I'd still go home.
Right.
Just do the same thing. Just the fact that I would be gone for a few hours a day doing a radio show or something. But I don't know what I want, but I know that I like this. So I think it's good. I'm glad it happened. And
yeah, me too. God bless the pandemic.
I couldn't go back in. We've said it before. I can't hold in my farts that long. Eddie, men who haven't matured emotionally usually display these behaviors. And I was reading this and I was like, am I emotionally immature?
Oh, no.
I'm starting to feel, I thought I was, past all this. Okay. This one I'm not. But I've seen relationships where this is a thing. Being preoccupied with being cheated on.
Yeah.
Because, if you have been cheated on, it's kind of it's hard to get over that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a hard one.
So sometimes I think it's like you're more mature for even trying to be in a relationship after something like that happens.
Yeah, I think so. That happens, and then your next relationship is going to be doomed no matter what. And that's what people don't want to tell you. Doesn't matter how great that next one is, but it's gonna be doomed. And then after that, you might. I think you just go through a series of disappointments in your life, and then you're beaten up repeatedly nonstop, and then you eventually just don't care anymore if somebody cheats on you.
Somebody just beats you down to a point where you're like, whatever. What I'm going to do? Just die alone.
Yeah.
So yeah. And by the way, I don't think there's anything wrong with dying alone. I think the whole thing of people having to be in a couple is a weird thing in life. Like, yeah, it's nice if you find the right person, but it's horrible if you don't. So, I would much rather be alone. And I'm not a lonely person. I was left alone as a kid all the time. So I grew up thinking, wow, this isn't that bad. I can do whatever I want or nothing. So I enjoy it, but not everybody enjoys a life of solitude, I guess.
Right.
I guess that's supposedly normal. But, deflects and puts blame onto others. Wow, that sounds like somebody that's currently in the very White House. Always deflecting and blaming others. Yeah, that's immature for sure. But raises his voice to get a point across. Man, what are they doing? Is this person getting elected? What's happening? Has difficulty with taking criticism. I go back and forth on that because sometimes I don't care at all. And then sometimes it catches me off guard and I care.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, sometimes it just depends kind of on your on the mood that you're in at some point. But I think the overall arcing thing that I'm hearing here is like people just need to stop giving a crap about things. Like
stop caring.
The more you care, the worse your life is going to be.
Yes, it's true though. It really is.
Yeah, there's that book called The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F.
Yes.
And, it's a big book for a reason, and they go over all this stuff.
Like, who cares if I look like Pauline Francis? I'm having fun.
Right.
If my hair, my wig looks like I'm, the stepmom from Mad Men. Whatever. Or the step grandma. I don't know what they call her. I mean, what is it? if you marry your second husband and his mother, that's your mother-in-law, right? It's not your stepmother-in-law. I'm thinking about Pauline Francis in the middle of this because I mentioned it in the earlier in the show. Like my hair looks like her. Okay. Here's another one, Eddie. Justifies poor behavior by using past events and perceived slights. That's a weird thing. you can go through your whole life thinking somebody didn't like you or something, and maybe they were just going through something horrible they don't want to tell you about, and their personality was just weird.
Right.
With you. But a lot of times I think I'm always right, too. Like if somebody isn't vibing with me, they don't like me, and that's fine. But I don't care if they don't like me or not. I don't need them to like me.
Yeah.
I don't know. Has a tough time with emotional conversations. Not me at all. I've had a situation. Maybe this has gone with you too. In a relationship, I thought I was being emotionally available to a person in a relationship, and they seemed more annoyed that I was so open and about talking about things.
Really?
So I knew
you can never win with these things, right?
I know. Like I'm supposed to be emotionally available. If I'm not, then I'm not emotionally available. And then if I open myself up and make myself vulnerable, and then it's annoying. I don't know.
I know. That's the thing. It's like, you're right. Because maybe the person you were with before said you were emotionally unavailable. So you're like, okay, this next time I'm going to do it better. And then you decide to be more emotionally available. That it doesn't work out that way. It's like, what? You can't do anything right.
I only like beginnings of relationships because you don't have to get into all this garbage. Like just have fun.
Yeah.
And when it stops being fun, then move on. Like, why can't we just be that? Why does it have to be forever? Why do we have to spend half of our lives miserable because we can't get along with somebody else? Just leave. Just go home. Go somewhere else. Go live with your mom. I don't know. It's my advice.
Ever since the fires in Los Angeles, there's this big fire in the Palisades. It burnt down all of Malibu. All these celebrities have been displaced. And,
I didn't hear anything about that. Did that really?
Yeah, apparently that happened, and I have been very concerned and worried about Rosie O'Donnell. Where has she been? Because she's she had a big house and a big spread over there in Malibu,
and she's kind of recently made a resurgence where she's really popular on TikTok.
Oh, okay, yeah. So she disappeared after the fires, and everyone's like, "Where the hell's Rosie?" So Rosie O'Donnell just popped up the other day, and a little bit on Rosie. She had that daytime talk show back in the late '90s, and it was a good. It wasn't a late night talk show. It was like a late night talk show, but it was
it was styled in the way that a late night talk show. She had a band. The guy, like, I can't remember what his name was, something McDonald, McNugget or something.
Nugget McDonald was the band leader. It was a hugely popular.
I thought it was a pretty good show.
I liked it. I liked Rosie. I liked her whole thing that she had going on there, and she was one of the most successful people in daytime television ever.
I think it's because she played. Like, she just played around and goofed around, and she was a fan of all her guests, like we were. So she would get them on. It would be a big story. Could I get this person on? And then maybe I'll do this. And then suddenly her show got really popular, and all these people were coming on. And you're like, wow, she's living the dream. She was on the fringe of Hollywood and as an actress, and she was a comedian and stuff. And then this show really solidified her as a top talent.
It was a good show. Rosie was a solid show when it was on, and
she never disappointed us like Ellen.
Oh, right. Yeah, she never did. Yeah. And even if you were a fan of David Letterman or Conan, you still would appreciate Rosie because Rosie still did a solid job.
Yeah, she could have easily filled in for any of those guys. She was good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she was very good. So her home burned down in the Palisades fire there in Malibu, and people are saying, where the hell is she? She disappeared from TikTok for a while, but we have a Rosie update. I have been looking for Rosie, and I found her. It turns out that Rosie O'Donnell is in Ireland.
Yeah.
So Rosie O'Donnell decided to go ahead, and since her home in Malibu burnt down, since DJT was elected, she decided that she would live in Ireland and become an Irish citizen.
Why not?
And just live there now.
And plus, you don't have to learn a new language.
Yeah.
It's like that's the one thing that might be a little bit difficult about some of these other places is you got to. I don't know if I'm smart enough to learn a new language. It takes a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, and people are always saying, these celebrities, these liberal celebrities say if there's a Republican president, they're going to leave the country. Well, she did it.
Yeah.
And she did it, and good for her. And I think we're all jealous of her at this point because
I wonder why, was Ireland just like had a lot of more remote locations? Because I know she probably wants to live in the hills or something. You know?
I think it has something to do with the nature. Then also she has Irish heritage, O'Donnell. You know,
right.
So I think.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think that's
maybe
what
she
it
could
is,
get together with Garen.
People are putting glitter in their pickles now.
That's
You
right.
know?
That's right.
But
Well,
I love her,
yeah.
and I love her on TikTok. I did see her. I just saw her today on TikTok, and she was talking about
She's
that
back.
she is in Ireland, and I was like, oh, that's great. Like, good for you.
Yeah.
But-
Well, enjoy. And Rosie's always great on social media too. Very interactive.
Oh, yeah.
She seems like a genuine person.
She's
so-
the same person she was on that talk show. She's just more low key, and I like her even better because she just feels like a regular person that you could just talk to. One of the things she did on her TikTok that I love is she found this woman in her neighborhood. I don't know if that woman's still alive or not, but
dead.
Barb or
I just
something was her
checked. She's
name.
dead.
She got, oh God! But she would go on these walks, and she met this woman Barb, and Barb became part of her TikTok thing. So even on
cool.
TikTok, she was doing a show, and I thought it was
Yeah.
like so cool because we needed that. You know,
Right. And there's a lot of anybody that's going to get in a flame war with DJT. Like I'll definitely have more respect for them too. And she always held her ground with that too. So
I saw a post about this on some. It was like a local newspaper, like from like when we were on radio, that area, and they posted this, and I could just tell because they knew the reaction they were going to get. They knew they were going to trigger people, and it was all people who hated Rosie because they're big MAGA people, and I was like, why would the only reason to hate her is because he hates her? That's silly.
Right.
And she's a good person, and she adopted a bunch of kids, and she gives them a good life. And from what I can tell, they're all. I don't know them all. I think they're all turning out like good citizens.
Sure.
And I mean, good for her. Find your peace. Why,
yeah, exactly. And she has I'm a bit jealous of her easy means but she worked for it. She worked hard her whole life, but she's able to get over there easily. And
don't forget she was on The View too for a while.
Oh right, yeah. She's worked very hard. She deserves all bit of success. But I have to say I'm a bit jealous that she could just pick up and leave so easily.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
she didn't.
Rosie,
I think when her house burnt down, she's like, what? But I think she was renting that house. But
oh, okay.
I think she kept her properties there in Los Angeles. Maybe you could stay at one of her houses while she's gone.
Yeah, I know.
You just say, "Hey, I'll take care of the house."
Yeah, can I stay at that pile of burnt rubble?
Well, she
How
might
much
have
is
one
that?
that's not burnt down.
Well, in LA, that's still going to be $10,000 a month. So, but I'll stay there.
But Rosie would let you stay there. At
the burnt rubble.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
As long as you take
Thanks.
care of her dog. Like she's probably got a dog or something. She had to leave here for reasons, and then you take care of the dog until she comes back.
All right, Rosie. Well, I'm happy to do that. Yeah.
Eddie's volunteering, Rosie, if you're listening. Well, Eddie, we've done enough, and I really do appreciate you doing this make-believe. We make sweet make-believe for our audience every week, and I know you're a very busy man, because I'm learning more and more as I work with you at Adobe Radio just how busy you are. I don't even know, but I feel like you are.
Yeah, I mean, we're all busy though. I can't say I'm busy because everyone's busy.
But Eddie's not that kind of guy that's like tries to tell you out busy everyone. Like, oh, you think you're busy? You know how you'll talk to somebody and say, I have to get up early tomorrow. Oh, you have to get up early. I have to get up at this time.
Yeah,
You're like,
it's not a contest. People are. What I've learned is like everybody is busy, and if you meet somebody who's not busy, it's kind of rare, actually.
I get busy doing dumb stuff outside of work too.
Exactly.
Like I'm like,
busy has nothing to do with work. Even people have family obligations. They have to go to the grocery store.
Regular chores around your
Hobbies.
house. Like you're like you're like cleaning up the kitchen while you're making food. I feel like I'm constantly doing some kind of thing. And then I sit down and I collapse.
Yeah,
So,
it's exhausting. It's too much. There's only so many hours in the day.
that's right. And that's why we like to bring you a dollop of joy with our show. We make sweet make-believe. And the dollop of joy, people often listen to the entire podcast just for this. Eddie, I played this woman getting upset with her grandson
I put my
earlier.
grandma on timeout. You put me on no timeout. You gonna go sit your ass down till you put me on some timeout.
I think these grandmas are just sick of being on TikTok because this woman here, this is another one. I think her granddaughter put her on TikTok a lot, and she's showing this pizza that her grandma is making. It looks delicious, but her grandma has had enough.
What's wrong, Grandma? Take a picture of it and TikTok that, bitch.
Oh, you gonna call me out my name? Grandma!
Always putting everything on
Your
TikTok.
grandma.
So what?
TikTok that.
Back up.
What you running for?
What are you running for?
You don't call me a bitch. Don't call me that. Grandma, why would you call me that?
That's what hit my mind at the time.
So get your life together. Don't call me no bitch. That's rude. Don't do that.
Get your life together. The grandma said. She's saying to her grandmother. So, well, fun times. Thank you, Eddie, for making sweet make-believe. I'll say it again.
There we go.
Every week. It's a lot of fun. And I hope our people that listen will spread the word of joy about mood killers.
Mood killers.
Happy birthday to me.
Follow your dreams, or I'm gonna beat your ass, bitch.
No.